What's up, guys? Welcome into Chicago Bears Now. I am Harrison Graham. We are live here on YouTube. First padded practice in the books today, so that's exciting. We have some news and notes from that, plus a couple of injuries to discuss. That's obviously not the most fun or ideal, but that's what we do here. We bring you guys the latest updates. Before we get to all of that, let's let the audience filter in here. Shout out your city. Let us know where you guys are watching from, and we can get some shout-outs for all of you in just a moment here. Let's see. We got Michael P. saying, let's go Chicago. Hey, the Smokin' J is the best. Yeah, we'll bring back the Smokin' J rumors soon. Don't worry. Those aren't going away forever. We got Jack and Manson, John Taylor and Crew UK, Ryan Poles in Kauai, Hawaii, Jaron Thomas in Noblesville, Indiana, Mr. Melkor in Stockholm, Sweden, Robert in, I just lost you, Vegas here. We got Antonio in Oceanside, California. There's Sam Lektara with our hypothetical of the day. We'll get to Sammy in a minute. Antonio Brown in Oceanside, California. Tyler in Toledo, Ohio. John Russell in Vegas. Let's see. Manchester from Cricket. Michael in Sherville, Indiana. Cricket in Manchester. We got the Missing Link in Westville, Dennis in Laramie, Wyoming, Willie in Austin, Cricket in Manchester as well. Continue to shout out your city. Let us know where you guys are watching from. Also, there's a competition brewing between a pair of rookies. Who starts at that CB2 spot opposite of Jalen Johnson? Tyreek Stevenson, who had a really strong day today, or Terrell Smith, who's been solid throughout camp. Another good day today. Type 29 for Tyreek Stevenson or 32 for Terrell Smith. Producer Rolly is with us. And Rolly, I don't think we expected this one coming, as we're both very high on Tyreek Stevenson.
Yeah. Listen, let's just be honest here. I'm a Tyreek Stevenson guy, so I'm going to be typing my 2 nuns for Tyreek to be starting. I get that you want to play whoever's going to make your team the best. Like, obviously, it's going to help you win more. But give me Tyreek, second-round pick. He's tough.
You want him to win the job. Now, here's what's interesting, Rolly. Terrell Smith, who has a really good athletic profile, had a lot of injuries in college, but was fully healthy at Minnesota his last year. Here's something I'm wondering. What if they see enough out of both of these guys where they just play this year out with Jalen Johnson? And if they like Smith enough, what if they just let Jalen walk? I mean, I'm not saying I would do that, but
Tyreek and Terrell on the outside, Kyler Gordon on the slot.
It's interesting. It's interesting. I don't think they've had probably deep thoughts about that, but if they feel like Johnson's out of their price range, then it wouldn't completely shock me.
It's probably a good thing that this is a battle, right?
Oh, it's a great thing.
It's not that Tyreek is bad. It's just like, oh, we might find something here in Terrell Smith that we didn't think we had.
Well, and that's what Matt Eberflus said, and we'll dive into that later. He said, look, he was working with the twos, and he kept making plays. So we put him in this. We were letting him compete, and that's what you should do as a young rebuilding team. And the job should not just be handed out if you are the Chicago Bears right now. I'll get a few shout-outs, then we'll talk about our sponsor. Michael says 32 for Terrell Smith. The Bears fan, 29. Jason's going with Stevenson. Lila says, I say TS. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. That could be either Tyreek Stevenson or Terrell Smith. Smith has the speed. Yeah, he's got, look, I loved it when they got him in the 5th round. I think that was pretty damn good value. We'll get to Sam Lektara here in just a moment, but want to tell you guys about our sponsor today. That is Rocket Money. Who's looking to save money on a month-to-month basis? Lower your spending up to what you have been recently. Rocket Money is going to help you do that. Go download the Rocket Money app at rocketmoney.com/bearsnow. This is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills all in one little app. Most people think they're spending around $80 per month on subscriptions. The reality is you're spending $200, if not more, in most of your guys' cases. So when you're signed up for so many subscriptions, it's easy to lose track of what you're paying for on a month-to-month basis. With Rocket Money, you can easily cancel the subscriptions you don't want with just the press of a single button. No more long hold times or back and forth emails with annoying customer services. Rocket Money does the work for you. They can even negotiate to lower some of your bills for you. They can find competitors for your utilities, your car insurance, and you might find better deals out there. And all of a sudden, you're racking up like $100, $200 less per month in your spending. Great personal finance app. Download the app today. You can also sign up for a premium subscription, which gets you even more features, but go test it out first, download it, and if you want the advanced stuff, you can also do that. RocketMoney.com/Bears now to get started today. It's RocketMoney.com. Get started with Rocket Money today. Okay, Sam Laktara with his weekly hypothetical, and Sam,
one's interesting.
Let's see what he has today.
Also, I'd like to say something to Sam, as Laktara put out a nice little Instagram story with his FGB shirt and tagged Harrison and I, and I was very happy that he tagged us, and I replied to him saying, "Let's go," and you didn't respond. What's up with that, Sam? I was trying to show some love, and I was wanting to get some interaction between us, and I responded, "Let's go," and next thing you know, I got barraged.
And full disclosure, I completely missed this.
That's terrible.
So you're saying he was too good for you. Well, I apparently was too good for him.
Sad.
So not a great look on my part. Sam, you know I got your back. Let's read the hypothetical. If every person had a conspiracy theory made about them, what would be yours? This is a good one.
I don't really know.
It's tough to think on the spot like this. And by the way, what we're doing today, no super chat menu. Every super chat, though, I'm taking a sip. $1, $100, sip down the hatch. If there's a high volume of super chats, it could get ugly.
Like, are you talking about a conspiracy theory about my life, or like a conspiracy theory that I believe in? That's where I'm getting confused.
I think made about you. So like, something about you would be like Mets related, like, or that'd be more about your life, I guess. Like,
so is it a conspiracy that I have, or like something around me?
I think it can be either.
Getting lost in the sauce here.
Like, Sam, I'm reading the comments. Give an example.
Yes.
Give us an example. You don't have to super chat. Just I'm reading the comments here.
Oh,
Give
Wyatt got his license today. Congratulations, Wyatt.
Cheers to Wyatt. Let's go to the next super chat. We'll be monitoring the chat in a second. Ooh, Sam just commented. But I want to shout out Austin, first-time super chatter. Have there been any reports of Javon Dexter's late get-off being noticeable at camp, or was it really a scheme thing at Florida? I haven't seen a single report about him being late off the ball, which the tape at Florida kind of suggested that, but that was a completely different scheme where he was like asked to read and react, which could lead to a late get-off. Here they're just saying, hey, just put your hand in the dirt and go get the quarterback. Like, don't complicate things, cause penetration. So I haven't seen anything about that, which is a positive. In fact, sounds like he's having a pretty good start to camp. Made a couple of splash plays today. Cheers, Austin. Appreciate the super chat. And I think Sam commented here.
Yeah, he
Rolly,
did.
what does he got
He said,
here?
based off things about your life or things people accuse/know you for.
Okay, so Coop would be a good one. Just referee conspiracies.
Yeah.
Like the refs stole the championship for the Mavs in 06. That's
which
that's
was a
Coop.
complete lie. So, just needs to give it up.
I think for me, it would be something.
I'm trying to think here. This is brutal. This is a tough one.
It would be Mets related for you.
I don't know.
Heat related? Non-sports related?
I'm trying to think of like what people have, what my conspiracy theory around my life would be.
Yeah, I'm not interesting enough to have a conspiracy theory.
No, yeah, I'm really not either. Like, I'm a pretty standard guy.
How about this, Sam? What is yours? What would people say about you?
It's a great question.
Maybe that can give us a better idea of where we're going with this.
Wyatt, mailbag probably
30 minutes or so.
Yeah, 20, 25 minutes.
By the way, Marshall, he's going to take the paper plate slapping here in a minute. I'll go ahead and message him here.
Oh, Jimothy Jim Jam with a interesting one. You've never actually liked sports. You just wanted the job.
I don't think people would say that about me.
I don't
we're both
think people
sports
would
junkies.
say that about basically 95% of the people in this office.
Yeah. I do think people work at this industry just because the job's cool, and they're not necessarily sports junkies, but I don't. That's not the case for most people here.
I'm still trying to think of one.
I don't know. I feel bad.
I
Sam
feel bad
gave
too.
us his
This
money.
is brutal.
Give us an example, Sam. I need one. Need one.
Oh.
Sal Eats got my shirt waiting for week 1 FGB. Shout out Sal, one of our
I think
FGB
I got my
shirts.
conspiracy.
You got one?
I got one. So to go off what Sam said about what would people think about you that is a conspiracy theory, I think most people would think, because I told you guys yesterday or last show, and some of you know this, I am a New England Patriots fan at heart.
Ooh.
From Bills country. I grew up obviously when they are very, very good and were winning multiple Super Bowls. And I think people would tell me and believe that I am a bandwagon New England Patriots fan as my conspiracy theory, and that is not the case at all, but I think that is a conspiracy theory about me. I think that's a perfect answer.
This is electric from Sam. It says that I run an overly illegal underground poker game / community. You're way more interesting than I am.
Yeah, that's a pretty big conspiracy right there.
So this guy, Marshall, we'll bring Marshall Green up. He sends in a super chat at the start of every show of a hypothetical question, usually non-sports related. His today, what was it actually today?
Wyatt?
Yeah, Wyatt's back. He said, if every person had a conspiracy theory made about them, what would be yours? Any answers? It's kind of a tough one.
That is a tough one, man.
Like Sam said, his is that I run an overly illegal underground poker game / community.
Sounds like you do already, Samuel.
He's more interesting than I am.
Yeah, Sammy. I don't know about that one, brother. I don't know about that one.
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe that Don Burr is actually a brand.
Yes,
Yes.
that is the Bears now
Yeah, that's
conspiracy
a good
theory.
one, Mark.
Don Burr is secretly a Bears fan.
Maybe I'm Don Burr.
Oh, I like that theory. I
Does
like
that mean
theory.
you're a
The
Bears
only
fan?
reason I don't believe that theory is because Don Burr also tunes into other Bears shows on YouTube, and that'd be a lot of work for you.
Michael Ortman, there's no
Wyatt,
need for that.
Relax, Wyatt. Relax.
Michael
All
Ortman,
right.
no need for that, by the way.
If you joined us last week, you guys bullied me into slapping Marsh. So
All right, this is for the Bears fans.
here we go. So how do we do this? Just like this?
Yeah, that's
all
fine.
right. I've literally never done this.
All right, here we go.
I'm not Tom Downey. So 3, 2, 1.
Oh.
I kind of shanked that.
You did. You did.
I didn't want to
You did.
smack you because I think
Why?
people.
Why Marsh has to call you
Nah,
daddy?
I don't roll like that.
Hey, that's
Marsh is my
that's
guy.
a little much.
Hey, you're going on vacation,
I
man,
am. I gotta get ready for vacation.
and you're not going to Cleveland.
No, no Cleveland.
Shout out Joe Kim Noah.
No Cleveland.
Chicago
no Vegas
sports legend.
Benders.
Yeah, you went on one of those a couple months ago,
Yeah,
right?
no Vegas Benders.
Yeah, you're still
I
recovering from
am,
that
I
one.
am still recovering. Wyatt, enjoy your Tuesday Bears Live.
Hey.
brother.
Appreciate it, Marsh. There he goes. Man of his word, Marshall Green. If you love Bears football, get the Bear Downs going in the chat. Shout out to the real ones. Oh, Don Burr 2.0 is in the chat. Why does he have 2 accounts? Don, you're a Bears fan. It's okay
I
to
think
admit it.
that is a different person mocking Don Burr. That's what it
Maybe.
is.
Marty K says, I want open palm. He's got to be on air. I can't mark him up here. Jason says bear down. Elbert, Maurice, Michael Ortman. Michael, we're still working on that deal for you. Trust me, we got you covered.
Well, Michael also hates me.
Why does he hate Roley?
He said, Pats suck. What's up with that?
I mean, the 3-14 Bears did smoke the Pats last year in New England.
No need to bring up old wounds.
I had plenty of those last year. It was 3-14. So Don Burr is secretly Aaron Rodgers. That's pretty good. The Bears fan, Larry Wasim in the chat. Anthony saying bear down as well. Let's go to Leroy. Get Up says Fields is the next superstar. You agree? Actually going to talk about that. Mike Greenberg had a take today. Not a big greeny guy, but I thought he made some interesting points. So we'll discuss. I also talked about Dan Orlovsky's opinion earlier today. If you want to go watch that video after today's live show, feel free to go check it out. But yeah, we're going to dive into more national thoughts on Justin Fields. Speaking of Bears QB1, fill in the blank for us. Justin Fields will have blank total touchdowns in 2023. He had 25 last year in 15 games, 17 passing, 8 rushing. Blank total touchdowns this year for QB1.
I'm going 31.
I like 30 plus. I said earlier today I need at least 4,000 total yards, passing and rushing, and 28 or more total TDs. I really want 30 or more, though. Like, go throw for 23 to 26 and rush for 5 to 8. Like
24 passing, 7 rushing. That's
I like
my
it.
exact prediction.
I like
Mark
that.
it down.
I like that. That's
See you
about
in
1.5
January.
passing per game and about half rushing per game.
I'll
Just
see you
about.
in January with that correct prediction.
I like that. I like that. 69 from Wyatt. Larry says 40. Clark Barr says 30. 44 from Scott. 37 from Michael. Longevity says 35. Elbert says 35. 46 from Leroy. 32 from Big Ron. Adam says 42. The Gabe says 50. 9 Drink says 16. Who cares as long as we are winning? Yeah, sure, but you want to see the quarterback be a big reason to why you are winning. Like, that's very important as we progress forward here as well. Okay, if you love the Bears, like this video, hit that thumbs up icon. If you love the Chicago Bears, and then we're going to dive into our first segment momentarily. Let's get to 125 likes. We got 72 likes so far, 260 watching, 125 gets us to about 50% clip. So hit that like button, and we will dive into our first segment. So let's make it happen here. Shout out Michael saying 38, Lincoln saying 37. Hit the like button. Nick says 26 in the air, 7 rushing. That's close to Rolly. Rolly said 24 passing, 7 rushing. Johnny with the FGBs in there. Hit the like button. Hit that like button to at least cross 100 here. One more super chat from Sam, and I owe you guys a couple more sips.
I'll read this out because I guess I gave a really good answer for Sam here. Because super interesting, Rolly brought up the Patriots fan conspiracy because I actually used to be a bandwagon Pats fan in 5th grade due to the Brady Moss connection, Madden 08. That's my confession. Well, Sam, appreciate you confessing here on Bears Now.
You also gave us an idea of how old you are. So you would have been 11 in 07. So he's about 27. You 27, Sam? Am I on the money there?
Well, I'll say this. I was not a bandwagon Pats fan. I became a Patriots fan because someone in my family is a Patriots fan, so I wanted to join them up. So that's my confession on how I became a fan. But everyone just assumed I picked the best team because
They're
when
the
I
best
started watching
team.
football, they were the best team.
Yeah.
But it was actually because of a family member. But that is my conspiracy theory, and it seems like I did a good job answering that for Sam. So happy to do that.
We have some Bears news. The Bears have signed a player, so Bravion Roy. I'm going to send this to you, Rolly. Give me just a second, folks. Not an edge, it's a defensive tackle. I think we just add this into the camp news. Yeah. Just make the social. I'll just read off his stats here. And then, yeah, we'll do that. Kind of what we spliced in with Pettis last week. Producing on the fly here, folks. When news drops, this is what we do. We get it to you guys as soon as possible. Yeah, I've got his reference page pulled up. PFF too, so I'll just kind of... Yeah, they claimed him. So who cut him here? Carolina. Yeah, it's 6th-round pick, 2020 for Carolina. Yeah, Carolina. You might have gotten a conditional 7th back. Polls fleece you again. Polls masterclass. DJ Moore, man. Kid's a stud. Kid is a stud. All right, folks. Bravion Roy. He's a Bear. Hadn't done a ton in his career, so I think this is like a can't body compete type of move here. 6th-round pick in 2020, so give me just a second. I'll tweet this out. Talk this and other camp storylines in just a moment. Get the FGBs going in the chat while we're getting this ready. And we'll get some shout-outs as well. Okay. Ravion Roy, you are a Chicago Bear. Ravion Roy. Not an edge rusher. Still waiting on that. Which, by the way, with DeMarcus Walker leaving practice today, unclear how severe that is, but even more illustrates the need for a defensive tackle. All right, here's what's coming up on Chicago Bears Now live here on YouTube. We get you caught up on the latest Bears training camp news, including a new member of this team that just got claimed moments ago. Live Q&A, use hashtag Bears or Super Chat to get your questions answered. We also have the latest Bears rumors coming at you as well later on in the show. Mike Greenberg hypes up Justin Fields. We discussed that plus more. So busy show on deck, starting with a new Chicago Bears player. We'll cover it all coming up. Bears training camp news coming at you here on a Tuesday. The first padded practice is in the books. What stood out today? We'll explore that. Also, is a cornerback 2 competition brewing between a pair of rookies? That is also on the docket. And handful of players on the injury report all of the sudden. We get you all of the news and nuggets from Bears training camp here today. But first, Jeremy Fowler with the news just a few minutes ago. Defensive tackle Bravion Roy claimed by the Bears off of waivers. He played in 45 games with 15 starts for Carolina. Now gives Chicago interior presence. Just had this come through on the wire, so a couple of quick notes on Roy. He was a 2020 6th-round pick out of Carolina, went to college at Baylor. I actually do remember him now that I think of it, playing in the Big 12 as a TCU alum. Obviously, keep up with that conference pretty closely. In 3 years, has just 1 sack, 76 tackles. He's more of a run stuffer, 6'1", 330, so he's a big boy. Kind of been underwhelming, but 6th-round pick from a few years ago. His PFF grades from last year, 54 overall, run defense 49, pass rush 61. So he hasn't done a ton in his career, but Ryan Poles brings in a guy on the 90-man roster. We'll see who they cut to make room for him, but that's the advantage of having the worst record in the NFL last year, right? You're first in the waiver wire every single time someone gets cut. So they claim Bravion Roy. Bring him in, let him compete. You need guys on that defensive line. Obviously, this isn't the edge rusher that we're all waiting for, but a new name in that backfield. Be sure to follow me on Twitter for daily updates in real time. I actually tweeted about this before we discussed here on the show. The first 10 people that follow me on Twitter at HGramNFL, you're going to get a follow back from yours truly. So clock is ticking. Give me a follow right now. Okay, no time to waste on this show and at practice today is Justin Fields in the first play of 11-on-11 drills. First padded practice, obviously, as well. He hit DJ Moore on a quick slant. DJ Moore turned it up, beat the corner on the route, and was off to the races for about a 70-yard touchdown. Took a good angle to beat the safety up the left sideline, but wow, I mean, not to be a broken record, but guys, DJ Moore is going to change everything for this football team. He's going to change this offense. He's going to change the perception of Justin Fields. He's going to change the trajectory of what this team can be early and often, not just in the future, right now. This offense will scare teams. I'm not saying it's going to be a top 5 overall offense, but this will be a team that is highlighted on team schedules like, oh, shit, we got to deal with Fields and Moore and those boys. They can score in a hurry. He just opens everything up for everyone else, and he's that reliable target that Justin Fields needs, and he's just so good after the catch, too. It's not like he just catches everything, which he does. He's dangerous after the catch. The guy averaged 18 yards per catch a couple of years ago. So exciting stuff. It was awesome to see him have that big play to start padded practice. Other Fields notes from today's workout at Hallis Hall. Had a deep ball to Tyler Scott where he got flushed left and was throwing into the wind, according to reporters on the ground, and had pressure in his face. Ball was a little underthrown, but Scott had created the separation on a post, and the ball was able to get to him for about a 50-yard completion into the dead wind in windy Chicago. He also threw a touchdown in 7-on-7 drills to Chase Claypool, where he stepped up into the pocket and hit him on an out route near the left pylon. Multiple DJ Moore touchdowns, including that first one I mentioned, both in 11s and on 7s. Mixed results in the red zone. The defense kind of had their number at first, but Fields in the offense was able to bounce back and get in there a couple of times. And then 2-minute drill situations. 3 and out the first time, not great. What is nice, bounce back, get a touchdown on the second time to DJ Moore. Other note from practice today, really good day for the defensive line. I mean, the first 5 or 6 rushing plays for the Bears today were pretty much stuffed by the defensive line. Credit to some folks who had boots on the ground today. Shout out Greg Braggs Jr. He does a great job over at CHGO. He had some good practice notes today also, but the defensive line really stood out and made plays from what it sounds like. And you can take that one of two ways, right? Like, oh gosh, is this O-line going to struggle again? Well, I thought as practice went on, the offensive line did better. And again, that's where having a mobile quarterback helps. But on straight handoffs, it was a struggle early on. Later on in red zone, Khalil Herbert had an easy touchdown where the O-line got nice penetration. So kind of a back and forth. But we have questions about the defensive line, and it's nice to see them win some of those early reps because you do need to play some decent defense as well. If you love Bears football, I mean, it's in the air, right? Month of August is here. Get the Bear Downs going. Get hyped and Bear Down. I don't care if you use the letters, the emojis. Doesn't matter to me. Bear Down in the comment section if you love Chicago Bears football. I also love saving money, and I'm able to do it on the monthly basis with Rocket Money, a personal finance app that's going to help you keep track of your spending and cancel any subscriptions that you may no longer want. They let you monitor all of your expenses in one place and recommend custom budgets based on your past spending, and they'll even send you notifications when you've reached your spending limit. So if you're trying to figure out a way to scale back, they'll set out plans for you to help you do that and keep you notified throughout the month as you try to hit those benchmarks. They can even help negotiate you in lower bills, whether it's utilities or insurance. You can find competitive prices that they are able to fetch up for you guys. And best part about it is if you want to cancel subscriptions, you probably don't even realize how many you have. They'll show you how many you have on an annual and or monthly basis. And you click which ones you don't want anymore, press cancel, they're going to take care of it for you. I didn't realize I was still paying for an annual golf streaming service that I probably signed up for like the British Open 2 years ago. I was out like $200, but it was about to come up again and cost me another $100 for this year. Able to cancel it in time. I didn't have to reach out to the app. They did it all. Rocket Money did. So that was very, very nice. RocketMoney.com/Bears. Now download the app today. Take advantage of their services and just monitor your day-to-day spending. It's really nice. It has different categories of what you're spending your money on. Keeps you on top of your finances. That link is in the comments and in the description of this video. Is there a cornerback 2 competition brewing? Well, it certainly seems that way. Tyreek Stevenson, Terrell Smith, pair of rookies, are both getting reps with the starters, and both did have really good days today. Shout out Adam Johns. He says the competition between Stevenson and Smith is a good one. Both made plays today. You look at this depth chart. Obviously, when they drafted Tyreek Stevenson in the second round, it was kind of assumed that he would be your CB2 opposite of Jalen Johnson with Kyler Gordon in the nickel. By the way, side note, Kyler Gordon had a really strong day today by all accounts. But Terrell Smith is very much in the mix here, and Matt Eberflus confirmed that today. He said Smitty, which I already got a nickname for him, that's probably a good sign for Terrell Smith, has been making plays. He was in a backup role and started making plays, so we gave him the competition with the ones. As with any rookies, they're going to have ups and downs in training camp. This is a different game up here. You're playing against DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, and different level dudes, which is a little bit different than college. They're learning how to do that and are getting better every day. Courtney Cronin also had this nugget, having talking to Tyreek Stevenson, and he basically confirmed what Flus said. Bears coaches said made it real clear that there's going to be a competition between himself and rookie Terrell Smith for the vacant outside corner spot. Both continue to split first-team reps. Quote from Stevenson, "We both know we're working for the same position." So yeah, it's not a question. It's a competition. These two guys are competing. Remember last week when Alan Williams was asked, oh, is Terrell Smith, is he getting a chance with the starters because he got some reps during a walkthrough? And he's like, don't read into that. Well, you should read into it because that's exactly what's happening. He's getting an opportunity. Now, it appears Tyreek Stevenson is responding to this because he's put together back-to-back really good practices. Zach Pearson with the note today, really impressed with Stevenson in 7-on-7s. Pearson wasn't the only reporter with boots on the ground that took note of Stevenson's coverage skills today. Josh Grock of NBC Sports Chicago said, nice play by Terrell Smith in the low red zone, 7-on-7. Pass was intended for Claypool, but Smith tipped it, and Eddie Jackson picked it off. So both these dudes are getting hands on football, and I said it when Tyreek Stevenson was struggling early on in camp. Iron sharpens iron. All those reps against DJ Moore, sure, you're getting beat early. Now you're starting to respond. You're starting to make plays. There were a couple of notes on Tyreek Stevenson holding his own in one-on-one drills. That's really tough for corners. Like, usually the receivers are able to create space and win those pretty easily, but he apparently held up well today. Competition is healthy. It's good. This team won 3 games last year. You don't just hand this job to the second round pick. If Terrell Smith beats him out, he beats him out. But either way, it sounds like the Bears have 2 good players here in Tyreek Stevenson and Terrell Smith. So who starts at that CB2 spot? If you think it's Stevenson, type 29. If you're going to go with Terrell Smith, a.k.a. Smitty, type 32. Let us know what you guys think. I still would give the edge to Stevenson. I think the Bears would like him to win the job, but who knows? Maybe long-term, they're both starters on this football team. Let's get to the injury portion of today's show. 3 players missed practice entirely at Bears training camp today. 2 more different players exited practice early, and of course, just like last year, this is the one thing about Flus that kind of annoys me. If he doesn't have to disclose injuries due to the CBA, he's not going to. During the season, there has to be an official injury report. His policy is he will tell you if someone is not practicing due to an injury, but he will not expand. He will not tell you what the injury is. He will not tell you a timetable. Now, the one thing Flus does do, which I do appreciate, he said, and he did this last year, if it's a serious injury that's long-term, we will inform you. So doesn't sound like that's the case with any of these 5 players based on what they know now. So they're day-to-day, week-to-week, somewhere in that range. We'll get to who those 5 players are in just a moment. But, guys, August is here. There is real Bears football games this month. That means watch parties. Subscribe for game day watch parties. We'll be live for all 3 preseason games starting on Saturday, August 12th against the Titans. By the way, Saturday preseason games, that just makes me want to throw up. We're still fired up, but just put them on Sunday like the normal sport that you are, NFL. But we'll be live for all 3 of them, so don't forget about that. Mark your calendars and join us. Okay, these were the 3 players who did not practice at all. Roschon Johnson at running back, Khari Blasingame at the fullback, and then Nate Davis, the offensive guard, which I'm not going to read too much into it, but something's making me pause about Nate Davis. He skipped the first 2 weeks of OTAs. He was losing. He gave up some reps to Lucas Patrick and Ja'Tyre Carter in the first week of camp. I'm not overreacting. I'm just keeping an eye on this. Maybe he's got an injury, which is why they're holding him out. Obviously, there's some sort of injury there, but I hope that situation works itself out. These 2 players left practice, DeMarcus Walker on the defensive line and Jack Sanborn. Again, unclear the severity. Both were able to walk under their own power with the trainer to the locker room, so that's a good sign. No carts out, but it's the reality, man. It's football. There's going to be injuries during camp. The Bears had avoided them up until now, but based on the limited information, that's what we've got. We'll continue to monitor the situation. Obviously, they're back at practice tomorrow. We'll at least know which guys are and aren't practicing, so we will certainly have another update tomorrow on who is and is not out there for the Bears. I think this is one thing we can all agree on in life. If you hate injuries, spam H in the comments. No one should like injuries, even if it's for your rival quarterback. Like, I hate Aaron Rodgers. I hate injuries more, though. Like, I don't want to see him get injured at the end of the day. So spam H right now if you can't stand injuries. All right, guys, loaded show today. Appreciate you for tuning in. Again, we'll be back tomorrow with more training camp updates. Hopefully we have some injury news to discuss. Hopefully it's positive news. And if you want updates in real time, Twitter, @HGramNFL. Go ahead and follow me and hit me up over there. All right, get the H's rolling. Heidi, William, Wasim, Tyler, Jaden, the chef, Tyler, Ivory, Ron, Busy, Jason, Scott Osborne, William. No one likes injuries. They're not fun. They're not fun to talk about. They're not fun to watch. You want the best players out there. Bethany Jewell with a super chat says, take a drink. Cheers. Every super chat today, I'm taking a drink. Bear Down from H-Town says, this Rolly. Bears fans trust the process. Our time is coming. By the way, Bears Saints game November 5th. You down? I'd love to, but we do these watch parties for every game. But listen, if you guys are at games, send us photos while you're there. We'll put them on our watch parties. We'll get you on the show. So keep that in mind that day. Tweet them at us at HGramNFL, and we'll throw you on our watch parties. That is for sure. Cheers, Bear Down. And want to get your questions in. Now's the time. Hashtag Bears or Super Chat. By the way, at the start of this mailbag, I'm going to do a rapid-fire Bears hot takes for the upcoming season. So if you have any hot takes, hashtag Bears or Super Chat. We'll put them in this mailbag video. So get those in there. But you can ask normal questions as well. No big deal. But hot takes, if you have any of them, go ahead and load them up. We will be sure to discuss them on today's show. Hashtag Bears or Super Chat to get your questions in. By the way, if you're just joining us, the Bears did claim defensive tackle Bravion Roy from the Carolina Panthers off waivers. 2020 6th-round pick. So this is the final year of his rookie contract, so Bears going to go ahead and absorb that deal. But that's where we're at. How about this, Rolly? Wait, what just happened?
Just a little personal shambles moment. I am a New York Mets fan, and there was kind of a report that said when the front office was talking to Verlander before they traded him, it's like, we don't know if we'll be able to compete next year. So if you want in 2024,
they were going to be bad next year.
Shambles.
What I just saw on my feed was apparently ESPN wants Cowherd
Yeah,
back.
I saw that. There's also a report on the Damian Lillard front that the Blazers would apparently want Jaime Jaquez Jr. instead over Nikola Jovic.
I mean, you'd probably be fine with that,
excites
right?
me. I mean, I had to fire a tweet out and saying, let's freaking go.
We'll see ya,
to my
Jaime.
ears. All aboard the Nikola Jovic hype train.
Have fun on the West Coast again, Jaime. We're going to keep Jovic here. Okay. Hashtag Bears or Super Chat. We'll include this one in the show, Keem. If you have hot takes, Super Chat or hashtag Bears, cheers to you. He says Terrell Lewis will take Sanborn's job. Kind of play different positions, but I guess you could kind of use Lewis as a blitzing backer, but I think he's going to play more edge in this scheme. But, yeah, maybe. I do think Terrell Lewis is going to make this team and play some. I'll say that. I do think that's a possibility. All right, let's hop in here. Bears mailbag, hot takes. It's all coming at you here on the show. And then after that, we'll get into the latest Bears rumors on Chicago Bears. We're going to get into some Bears hot takes in just a moment. And then after that, we're also going to answer all of your questions here on Chicago Bears. Now, I'm Harrison Graham. Let's go ahead and dive on into it. Hot take number one. I think the Bears make the playoffs here in 2023. I think with the additions on offense, with DJ Moore, Darnell Wright, fingers crossed, Nate Davis, I'm a little concerned about what's happening there, but I like the receiver and offensive line group being improved. Year 3 of Justin Fields. I think this team makes the playoffs in a weak NFC North and a below-average NFC. I think they make the postseason. Hot take number 2, Justin Fields at the end of this year has a top 10 QB season. Maybe he's not a bona fide top 10 quarterback heading into 2024, but I think for this season, he will be one of the 10 best quarterbacks in the NFL. I think his impact will be felt. I am buying into the hype. He's already the best running quarterback in the NFL for my money. I think he takes a big leap as a passer. 4,000-plus total yards, 30-plus total touchdowns, big Fields season incoming. Speaking of, DJ Moore, he's going to be a big reason why. 1,200-plus yards. He's never reached 1,200 yards in the NFL. I think Justin Fields is the most talented quarterback he's played with in the NFL. Not only is he going to help Fields, Fields is going to help them. They're going to ball out together. This connection is real, and he's going to go off because of it. Gervon Dexter, the rookie, he's going to have 5+ sacks. This is very bold. I get it. Didn't have a ton of sack production at Florida, but he was getting comped to Chris Jones a lot with his measurables and his ability. Florida was asking him to do some things that didn't necessarily play to his strengths. He's already popped at training camp. I think you could get some extra sack production from the interior, and Gervon Dexter gives you the best chance to do just that. One more hot take, and then we'll get to your hot takes and questions in a moment. Jaquan Brisker, 3+ interceptions. I think he leads the defense in takeaways this year. He was called an elite competitor by Matt Eberflus recently, who has named out a few guys who fit that elite competitor status. That's something Flus has talked about a lot. He's one of them. He's a leader on this defense in year 2. I think he gets 3 or more interceptions. What is your Bears hot take for 2023? If you had to pick one, your hottest Bears take for 2023, pin comment on today's show, and then after this YouTube bad break, we'll get into your hot takes and also your questions. Let's start with Keem78 with the Super Chat. If you Super Chat, you can skip the line. Terrell Lewis will take Jack Sanborn's job. I think there's some positional differences there, but the Bears do like to use Sanborn as a blitzing linebacker. Terrell Lewis, I think, more naturally plays that edge spot, but he could play off ball and blitz some. I think that could happen some, but you don't want him to drop into coverage, whereas we know Sanborn can do some of that. I will say this. I think Terrell Lewis will play a decent amount. I think he'll make the 53-man roster, which going into OTAs, he wasn't even really on my radar, and now he's pretty safely on this team, I'd say. Austin Nash, have there been any reports of Gervon Dexter's late get-off being noticeable at camp, or was it really a scheme thing at Florida? I think it was scheme, to be honest. Florida's defensive line coach has come out and said, yeah, he'll fit better with the Bears with what they're asking him to do, and I think we're seeing that already. Justin Jones has taken notice of what Dexter's doing. The physicality is there. They're just asking him to get up and go. Like, there's none of this read and react stuff that he was doing for Florida, so I think the answer is yes. He is a better fit here, and that late get-off has not been a concern from what I've heard. Xavier Jones, do you think Cole Kmet could be a top 5 tight end by the end of the year? I think that's a mild to hot take. I don't think it's scalding. I mean, the only guys for sure that are ahead of Kmet right now, and this is without a doubt guys ahead of Kmet, Travis Kelce, George Kittle, Dallas Goedert. If Darren Waller's healthy, I'd probably still put him. He's had a strong training camp with the Giants. When he's healthy, he's a threat to be a 1,000-yard guy. After that, though, why can't Kmet be number 4 or 5? I think it's possible. Now, I think he's for sure a top 10 guy. Does he take enough of a leap to be top 5 status this year? I don't know. That would be a pretty big leap, but he took a big leap last year. If he takes a comparable leap this year, what if he goes out there, has 750 yards and 8 touchdowns and blocks well? Be a pretty damn good season for Cole Kmet. Today's show sponsored by Rocket Money. Save some money on the monthly basis. Cole Kmet doesn't have to worry about that because he's got $50 million in the bank now. But if you want to cut back on your spending, Rocket Money is going to help you do that. It's a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills all in one convenient place. A lot of people think they spend, $75, $80 monthly on subscriptions. The reality is you're probably spending $200 or more. That's how much I was spending. I hopped on Rocket Money recently, and I was like, oh, my God, I have this old golf streaming platform that I didn't even know I was paying for. Xbox Live, I was getting charged $30 every 3 months. Haven't used it in 2 years. All of a sudden, in the month of July, I spent $150 less than I did in the month of June just on subscriptions alone that I was able to cancel because guess what? You click one button on the subscription you don't want, the cancel button, they take care of it for you, or they'll tell you how to do it in a timely manner. RocketMoney.com/Bears now. You can also just monitor your overall spending categorically, like how much per month on groceries, restaurants, gas, etc. And you can kind of figure out, okay, I want to cut back here. I have a little more money to spend here. It's a really convenient app. And, with me now, with a wife and a kid, you really have to stay on top of your finances because you just have extra bills now. RocketMoney.com/Bears now. Download the app today by using our link. Support our sponsors, supports the show, and it supports your bank account at the end of the day. RocketMoney.com/Bears now. Let's go to Brian. Appreciate the super chat. Nate Davis' situation is becoming a concern. Appears as though he does not want to be a Bear. What are your thoughts on Ja'Tyre Carter? Is he ready? I don't want to jump the gun on Nate Davis. I don't want to sit here and say he doesn't want to be a Bear. He skipped the first 2 weeks of OTAs. End of the day, those are optional. But look, you gave him 3 years, $30 million with 19 guaranteed. You've invested in him, and now he's nicked up. We don't know what his status is. So I would say I'm at a 5 out of 10 on the concern level. I'm not panicking, but he also was losing some reps, it sounded like. Lucas Patrick got in there. Tyree Carter has gotten some reps. So I'm monitoring this. I'm on the let's monitor this level right now. It's definitely not a non-story. I'm not going to say it's a front headline story either, though. But yeah, you need Nate Davis to be in there and to play pretty well. Jabil's Games, a hot take. Justin Fields will be a top 3 quarterback in the NFC and a top 10 quarterback overall by season's end. I mean, I think that's possible in the NFC. Top 3 is high, but like the only guys where you're like, he probably won't reach that this year are Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott. And I've said this a lot. He's got more raw talent than both of those guys. He's got more raw talent than Jared Goff and Kirk Cousins, who are established quarterbacks. Fields is more talented. Like if he goes out and balls out, his ceiling in terms of what he can do is higher than what those guys can do. It's an athleticism fact at the end of the day. Now he's got to go out there and do it. He's got to go out there and prove it. Talk is cheap at this point, but yeah, I think it's a hot take, but I don't think it's unachievable at the end of the day. Jersum's 80, have there been any reports or talk about Travis Bell in training camp? Haven't heard his name much. No, I haven't heard much. He seems like a practice squad guy to me, Jersum. Ryan Poles fell in love with him in the draft process. Just his character, his personality. I think he was a guy worth taking a chance on, and just having a guy around, right? 7th round pick, and who knows if he ever becomes a piece or not. But I would guess he's a practice squad guy, but he's certainly going to be on the roster bubble. Haven't heard much about him so far. Kevin Bolig, Tyler Scott has over 500 receiving yards this year. That's a bold-ish prediction. I think it's achievable. It's just a matter of will he get enough snaps. If Mooney, Claypool, and obviously DJ Moore are healthy and playing well, then Tyler Scott at best is wide receiver 4, and we also know that Cole Kmet's going to get some targets. So, yeah, I mean, it could be one of those situations where he has like 25 to 30 catches, but he averages like 18 to 20 yards per catch, gets to over 500, because I think he'll be a big play weapon on this offense. 500 feels rich. Like if I had to guess, I would take the under, but I do think he'll play a role. Share this video. Spread the word of Chicago Bears now. All you got to do is click the share button and then to share it to Twitter, which, although it might say share to X now, who knows? I actually need to double check this. Click post to Twitter or X, and then tag me at HGramNFL. I'll retweet you guys, everyone who does share this video, but I'm only going to see it if you tag me in the tweet before you fire it off. At HGramNFL, and we will throw you guys a retweet. Sean Spadale, both Jackson and Brisker will be Pro Bowlers. I could see it. Eddie Jackson, Jaquan Brisker. I think that the potential is there for that to be the best safety pairing in the NFL, if not one of them. Eddie Jackson last year before he got hurt had 4 picks in 10 or 11 games. He was well on his way to a Pro Bowl year. Jaquan Brisker flashed as a rookie, and by Matt Eberflus's standards, has taken a step forward in year 2. They're going to move him around a lot as well. I definitely could see that being the case. Papa Overlord, Mooney finishes within 150 yards of Moore. Maybe. I mean, look, when Darnell Mooney had his 1,000-yard season in 2021, Allen Robinson wasn't that productive. He only had like 400 or 500 yards, but he still garnered attention of other teams. DJ Moore is going to garner a lot of attention. I could see Darnell Mooney feasting in man-to-man situations and having 800,000-plus yards. I could see that being a possibility. And by the way, it sounds like Darnell Mooney's pretty healthy again. Keem 78, hot take number 6. Missed some of the first few ones. Fields will flirt with 4,500 passing and 35 touchdowns. That's a hot take. I mean, no Bears quarterback in history has thrown for even 4,000. You're saying he's going to throw for 4,500? That's a very hot take. I'm not willing to go that far. I think 4,500 all-purpose is well within range. 3,700 throwing, 800 rushing. I think that could happen. If he throws for 4,500, he might win MVP, for real. Wyatt, trade for Jonathan Taylor because he asked for a trade, so go and get him. He's still young, and we're in a rebuild, so go out there and get him. Do you think we should get him? He's still young, and go slam Marsh. The main thing I took from this is Jonathan Taylor is still young. Look, I like Jonathan Taylor. He's only 24, but we know our running backs age quickly. I just don't think the Bears are in a position to trade a real piece for a running back entering a contract year because you're either going to have to pay or tag him after this year. So I don't think the Bears are that team. I think they roll with their current backfield. Richie Rich, Jalen Johnson has a career year and has 4 or 5 picks. I would love that, man. I'm a big Jalen Johnson fan. I think they should pay him. I did a video over the weekend saying as much. And, I hope he's here long term, even with the emergence of Terrell Smith. I think having good players is a good thing, and you should keep those players. So we'll see what happens. I could see the Bears playing this year out before making that decision, but that's the one thing missing on his resume is taking the football away. He's a sticky corner, but can he start getting interceptions? If he can be one of those elite guys in this league. Who's ready for week 1 against the Packers? If you are, type FG. I'm fired up for week 1. You should be fired up for week 1. If you're not, I don't know what you're waiting for because football is back, baby. Shout out Peter. First time super chatter. Cheers. I think I owe a few sips, Rolly, for some recent super chats. So if you want to read through some of these.
Yeah, so Fields 2023 NFL MVP. That's certainly
a hot take.
But I guess it's a popular hot take nowadays, Harrison.
I think and I predicted this. He is the classic candidate for it's not under the radar at this point, but a non-conventional MVP candidate. Like, we all know Mahomes is going to be an MVP candidate. We know Jalen Hurts will probably be Josh Allen, Rodgers maybe, usual suspects. Fields is like the trendy, I'll throw 25-1 at Vegas for him. Why not? Yeah. So I don't think he'll win it. I could see him being a finalist if he has a huge year and the Bears make the playoffs, but it takes a lot to win MVP, man. I'm not ready to go that far. But I am ready to beat the Packers' ass in week 1. FGBs, Leroy, William, Chris, Jason, Ron, Raquel, Wasim, John, Jeremiah, Beth, Jaron Thomas, Johnny, get the FGBs going. Get the FGBs going. Apparently, Micah almost injured Dak at Cowboys practice. He hit Dak low on accident, knocked him down. That could have been brutal. White Sox news for you guys. Jake Berger traded to the Marlins. There you go. How many we got live on our baseball coverage? We're live for the MLB trade deadline on our main channel. Let's see. 104 watching. I thought there'd be a few more, honestly. When's the deadline? 5 o'clock Central? Got an hour? Maybe it'll pick up. Malcolm Graham says FGB. Jake says FGB. Ivory, Jerzen, Brendan, Markel saying FGB. One more segment to go. Oh, can we actually flash the Bravion Roy's social real quick? The Bears have made a move today. They have signed defensive tackle Bravion Roy, or claimed him off waivers. The Panthers cut him. 15 starts in Carolina over 45 games in 3 seasons. Gives the Bears some interior depth. Look, he hasn't done much in 3 seasons. 1 career sack. He's more of a run stopper. 6'1", 330. Bring him in. Let him compete. That's the advantage of being first in the waiver wire order. You can claim anybody you want that hits waivers. So, Bravion Roy, the newest member of the Chicago Bears. All right, one more segment here. Let's hop into the latest Bears rumors here on Chicago Bears. Now, there's a new free agent out there that I think the Bears could be interested in. Plus, we also explore some more Justin Fields hype and discussion, give my thoughts on that. So, plenty to get to here on Chicago Bears now. Do the Chicago Bears need a third tight end? Simple question. Type Y for yes, type N for no. I believe they do need someone behind Cole Kmet and Robert Tonyan. What say you? Y for yes or N for no? I'm Harrison Graham. You are watching Chicago Bears Now. O.J. Howard is now a free agent after the Raiders released him on Tuesday. So my immediate thought was the Bears need a third tight end. Could they sign O.J. Howard? Well, let's dive into him, see what he's been up to as of late, the veteran tight end. And quite frankly, it's kind of been a quick downfall for Howard. His first 3 years, he averaged just under 500 yards per year, had 1,456 on 94 catches, 12 touchdowns, average over 15 yards per catch. That was kind of his whole deal. It's like this almost feels like a receiver playing tight end. But in his last 3 years, granted some injuries have popped up, only 35 catches. The targets have gone down by like 60%. 426 yards, just 5 touchdowns. 12.2 still good yards per catch on average, but that has dipped by more than 3 yards per catch. And you're kind of like, that's kind of a weird downfall for a guy who's not that old. I think he's 28 now. It's not like he's 35 and he's just fallen off a cliff because of father time. It's very strange that he has not been able to scratch 150 yards in a season since 2019. That's a bit bizarre. After hitting 450, 430 plus in each of his first 3 years. I mean, this was a guy who was like, okay, he's a starting level tight end. I mean, he's not a superstar, but he's a pretty damn good player. To now, it's like he's struggling to stick on a roster at this point in time. Do think there's value here for the Bears potentially, so we will certainly discuss that. Okay. New month, new battle. Let's start fast, and then let's finish it at the end of August. I am challenging Mitchell Renz and the Raiders Report to a subscriber battle for the month of August here at Chat Sports. We're starting 0-0 here. Bears Now, no new subs as of filming this. Raiders Report, no new subs at this exact moment. We're going to try and take them down this month. We took care of the Cowboys Report and Tom Downey. Now I'm coming for Mitchell Renz and the Raiders Report. If you want daily Chicago Bears content, hit that subscribe button, and let's take down those Vegas boys. Come on, they suck anyway at football. Let's beat them in subscribers as well. Okay, back to O.J. Howard. One thing you know for sure, he's not much of a blocker. He wasn't that coming out of college. He hasn't been that in the NFL. So if you're in the camp of you want the number 3 tight end to be more of a blocking tight end, the O.J. Howard probably isn't for you. That being said, Cole Kmet, Robert Tonyan, that's set. You know who your 1-2 punch is. I would still have a lot of interest in O.J. Howard. Jake Tonjes, Chase Allen, Jared Pinkney, who you picked up recently, Steven Carlson. It's not like it's Murderer's Row competing for that number 3 spot. I still think it's an upgrade at tight end 3, even though there are legitimate questions about O.J. Howard. Can he be somewhat productive? Here's the thing. You probably don't need him to be that productive. Be a guy who can come in occasionally in the red zone, still give you some juice as a red zone target. I would be fine with that. If Kmet and Tonyan are healthy, they can probably convert 90% of the snaps you need at that tight end position. But we know Luke Getsy in this Shanahan scheme is going to use some 2 tight end sets, occasionally even 3. Be nice to have a reliable third tight end, at least somewhat reliable, somewhat proven. O.J. Howard's at least done it in this league. Guys you have behind Kmet and Tonyan, they have not. I would still certainly be interested in O.J. Howard. What say you? Should the Bears sign O.J. Howard? Type S for sign, or you can type P for pass. I'd like to get him on board. We'll see if Ryan Poles agrees. More Justin Fields hype. ESPN's Mike Greenberg is the latest person in the national media to jump on the Justin Fields bandwagon. We'll discuss that in just a moment. But week 1 is just over a month away, folks, and it's against those hated Packers. FGB. FGB. Pick up an FGB Bears t-shirt today, right now, chatsports.com/FGB. If you got one last year, get another one, get a new one, get one for a friend, your son, your dad, whatever. Let's get the FGB movement going for week 1 because we got to bring that energy against the Packers. Link is in the comments and in the description, chatsports.com/FGB. Here's Greeny of ESPN on Justin Fields. He says, starting in week 7 of last season, while he was running for his life and throwing to a receiving core that was pedestrian at best, Fields had the 4th highest QBR in the league behind only Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, and Josh Allen. Now he is set to follow Hurts and Allen again. Those two are the modern template for modern quarterback development. They're talented. They were in need of patience. good coaching, and now look at them. Fields is exactly the same. Frankly, he was a better prospect than either of them, which I agree with. The final piece of the puzzle came this offseason with the Bears' acquisition of DJ Moore. He says they are hoping he can be to Fields what Stephon Diggs and A.J. Brown are to their quarterbacks. The people of Chicago have been waiting all of their lives. Fields is going to be the next superstar quarterback. Now, we discussed on Tuesday morning Dan Orlovsky, colleague of Mike Greenberg, who played quarterback in the NFL, obviously does a lot of film study, what his reasons to why Fields could be entering superstardom. So I'll just kind of tie this in here. He mentioned DJ Moore, trading for him, improving that wide receiver unit, picking up Darnell Wright and Nate Davis to bolster the offensive line, and second year with Luke Getsy. Orlovsky also added that year two quarterbacks in the system throw on average for 4,100 yards and 32 touchdowns. Doesn't mean Fields is going to do that, but the point is the ingredients are there. I completely agree with these guys. Like, what I will say is I'm going to challenge Fields a little bit here. It's on your shoulders. Justin Fields has got to embrace what's ahead of him. And to be fair, I think he has. I think he knows what's at stake. He's a first in the building, last to leave type of guy. He's constantly in the gym working out, watching tape, doing all that stuff. Now it's about producing on Sundays. Good start to training camp, all is well on that front. Matt Eberflus, by the way, mentioned that starters will probably play a little bit during the preseason. Unclear how much. They have not finalized that. But as far as what Justin Fields can be, he's got enough around him. Is it perfect? No. But unless there's multiple severe injuries, I don't think we're going to be sitting here and saying, well, Justin's just not getting the adequate help. That was last year, and that was true last year. This year, I don't anticipate that being the case. He's got enough help. It's on his shoulders to go out there and do it. Let's shift gears a little bit. Scott Pioli, former NFL GM, has talks about the Bears on NFL Network earlier on Tuesday, and he spent some time with Ryan Poles, who he knows very well. This is what he said. He said, I've known Poles since I hired him in 2009 in Kansas City. Poles is this great combination of strength, confidence, intelligence, and humility. He was very open with his relationships with Matt Eberflus and President Kevin Warren. What I saw was how collaborative they were. And that's been pretty well documented from different reporters, folks attending camp, spending time with the Bears front office in the offseason, is all three of these guys are working hand in hand, and that's how it should be. The GM should talk to the team president about things, to the head coach, and collaborate and kind of discuss, okay, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? I don't think that happened before. I don't think Ted Phillips had enough football knowledge, to be frank, to even be in those conversations, or at least being worthy of being in those conversations. Kevin Warren's been around football his entire life. So I think that synergy is real. I believe it at this point. Now, if they don't win on the football field, no one cares. But I think that synergy is going to help this team become a winner on and off the field, and I'm excited to see how it unfolds. It's good to see someone who hired Ryan Poles way back in the day kind of see his rise in this business, and now that he's leading the Chicago Bears. Do you believe in this Bears regime? I do. I'm typing B for believe. If you don't, if you're not sold on it, type D for don't. Obviously, they got to produce on Sundays. They got to win games, but I think everything is headed in the right direction. Subscribe now if you love the Bears. Do not miss out on any of our coverage. Let's take down the Raiders report this month and new subscribers. They're kind of the kingpin here at Chat Sports. I'll be honest with you. Let's see if we can unseat them for the month of August. Do you believe in this Bears regime? Type B for believe or D for don't. Nah. B for believe, D for don't. I'll get some shout-outs. Final call for any last-minute super chats. Otherwise, we're going to sign off here today. Jaron says B. Tyler says B. Raquel says B. Chris Aldridge. Koki says B. John saying D. Markel says B. Jeremiah. Brandon. Jeremiah says D. Brendan says B. Marcellus says believe. Richie says I will if they sign an edge. Yeah, I mean, we'll see, right? Training camps are a week plus in, and Yannick Ngakwe still out there. Justin Houston's still out there. I guess the month of August for these dudes. Hey, they got to sign with the team.
Any scouting report on Thyrick Pitts?
He got cut by the Bears. Did the Patriots pick him up?
Just claimed him.
Not really, to be honest. They cut him when they signed that tight end, Jarrett Pinkney. He played his college ball at Delaware. I know that.
And that Jalen Hurd guy, if you remember the Patriots signing him.
Yes, he already cut.
reserve retired list.
Oh my goodness.
So
short, he's just cooked.
Short tenure.
All right, Thyrick Pitts. Let's pull up his stats. So last year he had 57 catches for 631 yards and 10 touchdowns. He is listed at this was it. He's got good size. He's like 6'1", 6'2", 200.
Thyrick. He's got thick
thighs. Yeah, practice squad maybe. Yeah, I don't think it's much, to be honest. But closer to his college, Delaware, the Fighting Blue Hens. That would have been a good mascot to pick today, by the way. The Fighting Blue Hens.
It's a good name.
Kind of a good one.
Fuck Delaware, though.
Brutal state.
Nah, they kind of eliminated St. Bonaventure Club basketball team for our regional tournament. So
tough. Dexter for defensive rookie of the year. That'd be nice. What are your thoughts on Tyler Scott? Looks good, man. I mean, he can separate. Good route runner, good speed. Richard Hightower thinks he could get some work at punt return. So good competition, man. Good competition. All right, I think we're going to get out of here. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Bravion Roy claimed off waivers, so he is a Chicago Bear. We're going to put out a video here in a minute where we discuss that signing. Here are some of the notes from him, from Jeremy Fowler. 45 career games, 15 starts for Carolina. Some depth at defensive tackle. I think he'll have to earn a roster spot, but more competition in there if nothing else. So got that going, and otherwise, that's it. Rolly, any final words? Next week is game week. So next Tuesday when we go live.
Unfortunately, actually, I do have some last words for you guys.
Oh,
Hold
no.
on. No. It's
Oh,
be
yes.
Very nice. It will be a little bit till you see me next. I am going on vacation for the first time since I've been here.
Oh,
I was gone for like 3 or 4 days, but like 2 days were Saturday, Sunday, so I don't really count that as vacation.
Yeah.
But I'm actually going on a week-long vacation next week, going back to Rochester, my hometown.
You're
going back
leaving
to
Saturday?
New York for a week, yes. So I will unfortunately not be here for next Tuesday's live show, and I will not be here for the first Bears preseason game, unfortunately.
Really? Wow.
But I will hopefully be back
for the next two.
For the last 2 preseason games, and obviously week 1 against the Green Bay Packers. So hopefully you guys will survive without me.
Yeah, listen, I'm disappointed, but I'm just kidding.
Richie Rich, don't know the show will burn down if you're not here, Rolly Rolls. I mean, let's hope not.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe Jack makes a return appearance next week. You're invoking
my only stipulation.
It's like
people have no trade
it's your
clauses.
one team on the no trade. Yes.
I have no producer clause.
I love it. All right, we'll see you, Rolly, in a couple weeks.
Yes, I'll be here 2 Tuesdays from now.
2 Tuesdays from now, and hopefully in that second preseason game, which I believe is the Bills game, and you hate the Bills, so that's perfect. So, all right, here we go. Bear down. We'll see you next time.